Welcome back, Scouts, to another Battle for Humanity Day Zero build along. And today we're going over a character I'm actually quite excited to play, but not excited to pronounce. Hange Zoe? Hange Zoe? Hange Zoe? I still need to watch Attack on Titan. But Hange, as I've heard many people pronounce it, a Survey Corps member. She is a 6-hand size 31 health character, and she is all statics. She has life and fire for her symbols, but all of her abilities are statics, which means they are always live, no matter what. They don't have to activate, they don't have a cost to them. Before the game begins, search your deck for one Titan backup card with a printed difficulty of 4 and build it. Pretty cool. Your backups with printed difficulty of 4 cannot be attacked. Pretty good. When committing cards to pass a check, you may commit one backup as though it were a foundation, and if you play an attack this way, it gets +2 speed. I'm not going to bury the lead. A lot of people say Hange sucks. And, to a degree, they're right. There are only 2 printed backups with a printed difficulty 4. They both are garbage. They don't have a lot of power. But here's where I see things a little different. I don't look at the power of the backups. I see Hange as a character who, even if I'm going first, I get to build one Titan backup, and even if she's committed, I can commit that backup when passing a check. If I have 4 copies of each of those backups, I have 8 foundations that cannot be stunned, that cannot be sealed, that cannot be flipped, which therefore cannot be ruined, and cannot be frozen. And because they can't be attacked by my rival, it is very likely these foundations will never be destroyed. And because Hange doesn't have any effects that activate, she is a free commit herself when you're playing your cards, so you're allowed to not commit as many foundations during your turn. That's where I think Hange's strength lies right now. Obviously, if we get more backups that have printed difficulty of 4, I'm sure she'll get even better. But right now, I see her as a core build of build your backups. Those are unstunnable foundations. Foundations your rival does not get to interact with unless they specifically have backup support. And because a lot of people think they can just attack your backups, they're probably not going to be running things like Nape Strike or that other attack that destroys backups. So then they can't get rid of your backups. You can still use your backups' abilities, paying stamina and whatnot, but as long as they have at least 1 stamina, they are uninteractable foundations for you to build with, which means you can build less foundations and stay out of deadlock. I think that's pretty cool. And I think that is going to be worth diving into. So let's dive in with Zoe, or Hange, or whatever this woman's name is. She's fire and life. Let's go with life. So let's go with our attacks here. So, backups lose 2 stamina. We don't want anything that's anti-backup. We want all the backups. Milling, no. Steam barrier, no. It's a great block, but nah, I'm not going to do it. If your rival has at least 3 or more foundations than you, this attack is +3 speed. That could be useful, because we're using our backups as our foundations. So we won't have as many foundations, so that could be useful. We're not hurting our backups. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. No. Remove top 3 cards of our discard pile. No, no. Nah. If we have more cards removed, no. Cards are removed from game pile. If we have 3 more attacks in our card pool, we may discard a card. If we do, add the top card of our deck to our momentum. Rallied Assault. Is this the time we use Rallied Assault? Because our backups are printed 4 difficulty, so they're hard to build at the end of a string. But if we play this on like a 7 or an 8, if we play this as like a 7, and spend a momentum to remove R2 attacks, or 3 attacks, and 2 to 3 blocks from our rival, that could make this a 7 high 7 to a 10 high 10, maybe? If we played 3 attacks and they played 3 blocks, a 10 high 10? 10 high 10 that they wouldn't be able to block, then we can play our backups. This might be when we play Rallied Assault. Next attack we play gets 3 damage. Selfish Strike, no. We're not worrying about cycling. Next attack is 3 speed. Each player chooses 6 face-up foundations in their stage, then flips the rest. We're not going to worry about that. If our rival has 6 or more ready foundations, get stunned too. No. We're not worrying about gaining health. We're not having 9 or more foundations. We're not gaining health. If this attack deals damage, doesn't counter its progressive. Fun, but I don't know how helpful that's going to be to us right now. Build top card of our deck face down committed. I don't know if that's going to be useful. We don't have 9 or more foundations. Throwing horses is both sad and hilarious. No. Sacrifice foundation. Build top 2 cards of our deck. We're not gaining cards. We're not drawing. We're not gaining health. After this attack deals damage, choose 1 backup or shift attack in your discard pile with X or less difficulty and add it to your hand. I don't see us... This would have to do damage, and we'd pick up the card. So it's probably the only way to pick up our Titan cards, but it has to deal damage. We'll put it in just to see. Plow through enemies, no. We're not sacrificing our backups. If we block, after this attack receives speed or damage bonus. From another card's effect, double that bonus. I don't really see how we're using that much. Beast Titan's Call is good, because we can, after this attack deals damage, mill X. X equals the damage dealt. If a Titan backup was milled this way, we get to build it. We do like that. Titan pile gets damage for each of our Titan backups. If we have a Titan card in our stage, gain 2 health. This just could be useful. It's about the only health we'll use. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be using any of the actual shift Titans. Maybe 1 Titan, Smiling Titan attacks. No, we don't even want that. What do we want, though? Wasn't there another? Oh, food motivated. There it is. I was like, am I seeing things? Food motivated. No. Because we would want to keep the backups as basically our foundations, and a lot of these have attack abilities that are just too good to be. Except maybe the Jaw Titan. Let's run Jaw Titan. Because this has a Tenacious that lets us lose 3 stamina to prevent our rival from gaining health. That could be useful in the future. So let's do that. Moving on. Cards don't counter progressive. Remove a foundation, build a bigger foundation. 5 or more foundations with exactly 1 copy. Because we are focused on not needing as much foundations. 3 face-up foundations does not share a name. Instant Shining Flash is good, just for ease of stress. Easing up our attack strings. Sorry, it's getting a little late and I'm preparing to do a whole raft of these tomorrow, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting as many out of the way as possible. Double Spirit Blast is neat. Our rival's block modifier gets +1 for the turn. That could be fun, because that opens up for cards like, the Painful Experiment, or the Beast Titan's Call if we're really feeling frisky, and just makes things harder for our rival to block. Risha's Meteor, Spirit Gun Final, Spirit Charge Kick. That's not going to be useful. flipping foundations, sacrificing foundations. It's a real good thing Hange didn't have death, because if Hange had death, she'd really take advantage of all of the if your rival has more foundations than you cards, because you could just run your backups as your foundations. Testy Riff. Is Tasty Riff an expensive card? You know, I'll just go click here. I didn't mean to do it like that. Open link in new tab. Not the logo. Link. Tasty Riff. $15. Because Tasty Riff would allow us to build, and then if it hits, we get 3 applause counters. And then we'd have to hit twice. We'd have to have 6 applause counters to straight build one of our backups. I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know if that's worth it. If we went whole hog onto the package of the applause counters, then absolutely I think we could do that and just build in with Tasty Riff our backups. Actually, that might be the thing to do. This might be the time that another time that I just say goodbye to the whatchamajigs, the dudes. The dude with the burbs. So if we go Tasty Riff and we go I won't back down. And we do double Spirit Blast. This gives us 11. So sorry Rallied Assault. And sorry Painful Experiment. So this gives us 9 different attacks. We definitely want the 4 Tasty Riff. Probably want 3 I won't back down. Because if it's blocked, we draw a card and gain 2 applause counters. So it's usually going to do as much damage as we put on it. We'll put 3 double Spirit Blasts. This could be good. Dig Deep. I like Titan. Beast Titan Calls a 2 of. Titan Piles a 4 of. Jaw Titan maybe is a 2 of. Instant Shining Flash. That's a 3. Get rid of, toss aside. 24 attacks. Most of these are low blocks. Let's drop the Shining Flashes, because we can side those. Gives us 21. Okay. So now let's move into asset territory. Potato, we're not worried about gaining health. What are we? We're Survey Corps still? We're still Survey Corps. 2 speed, 2 damage, I'm not worried about. Airy is useful. It unboxes useful. And I'm going to put a Jiro's base in here, because we can spend a momentum to get 2 applause counters, which means if we can get the Tasty Riff, we can just pick up and just keep building our backups. Speaking of, we need our buildable backups. A Titan Medium and a Titan Small. So we can block with a Titan Small and build it at the end of the combat phase. That's a good way to get around some of this. But we can commit lose a stamina for 2 damage. If our rivals has 10 or more foundations, it gets 2 speed as well. And we can commit lose a stamina for plus or minus 1 speed. Mainly, I'm going to be building in like Titan Medium first as my first thing, just because I can block with Titan Small, so that's useful. Let's go to actions, see what we have here. I like to you 2,000 years from now. I like Dark Tournament Looms because we can hopefully loop our Tasty Rifts that way. And then let's see what else we got. It's just a very colorful deck. Not gonna worry about that. Not gonna worry about that. Attack is 1 damage. No, we're not worrying about cycling. If we discard this card during the combat phase, draw a card. Cycle a card after our rival's combat phase begins. We do draw and discard with Tasty Riff. But I think that's the only other discard we have. Last second dodge, -2 speed, and lose throw is really strong. If we discard, flip for -3 damage, -3 speed, sacrifice foundation for +1 damage. No. Spend momentum for 3 speed. 3 more attacks in our card pool, not worrying about that. 2 speed. Flip for +1, -1 damage is bad. Let's see. Shift attack is +3 speed damage. We're not worried about shift attacks. We do like Deadly Research because if we make a check to play a backup, that check can get +2. We do like Defend the Rear. Loyalty to a Friend. This could be strong because we give minus damage for each of our backups. Flip, discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards. If you discarded a backup or a Titan this way, draw a card. We don't want to discard our backups, though, so we're not going to deal with that. If your rival's attacking a backup, it gets -2 damage. They can't attack these backups. They can attack the Jaw Titan attacks, but if they're choosing to attack the Jaw Titan attacks, they're not attacking us. So that's perfectly fine with me. Uplifting Bond, we can gain a health and make something not count towards progressive. That is a 1-of, could be good. +1 for each Titan card we have in play. Not bad, not great. Let's see, what else can we do here? Without a vision, no. Steadfast Resolve, nah, probably not worth it. Curious About Quirks is just good draw. If we play a keyword ability, draw 1 card. If it's our rival's turn, gain a health. Not worried about that. We're not committing for costs. Let's see. We're not milling a bunch. Breaking the Cuffs is strong because we can destroy, discard a card for 3 speed, 3 damage. We don't really have a lot of... I mean, we would want Tasty Rift to hit, make it 8 high 6. Resting Up. I'm going to put Resting Up in here because it's more speed hate, but also I'm planning on committing Zoe as soon as I can, so having her committed is only going to be good for us. I can spend a momentum to pick up a card from our discard pile. That could be useful as a 1-of. Keiko's Aid's great. Mills, we get an attack. Not worried about that. Syndicate target's good. We need 6 checks. What else we got here? What else we got? Dance Routine, we can get +1, -1 speed. After a charge attack deals 4 or less damage, draw a card and add an applause counter. It's ranged. Fury, Titan. Charge. So basically it's just for these 2. Soulful Rendition is good, because as a first form we can get an applause counter. Don't want to go too all in on that, though. I mean, with the Taster Roast, we kind of have to go all in on it. Really? Credible Display is good. Forever's not lost health. What else can we do here? Lost in Thought. Bench press carbo loading. Evade and copy is good defense. Let's see what we're at here. We're at 64. That's not bad. 64 is not a bad start. I think that's the lowest I've gotten any of these day zero builds starting. But let's check a few more foundations, because I know we have like a lot of just chipping away. We don't have like big bombs. We have a powerful here. Like that's an 8 damage attack, but how often is it actually going to hit? So we're doing a lot of chipping. This deck is very much going to be what's the word? A war of attrition. We're not just hitting with a bunch of big bombs. We are definitely waiting our rival out. Plus 2 damage. Push commit for 3 damage. I just hate that it's on a 3 diff. We are running the Tasty Riffs. But we are running our character and we get an automatic foundation at the start of the game. So yeah, maybe. Well, I think we're playing useful information, right? We're not playing useful information. Plus 1 damage for each Titan card we have in play. We should absolutely be doing that. That's a good card. Titan attacks. Charge or weapon. Ranged. 1, 2. So it's still only the 2. Whoops. So we don't need the 2 there. The thing about life is life doesn't have a lot of damage boost. Which, fair enough, it's the life symbol. Why would the life symbol need a bunch of damage? Well, breaking the cuffs. Yeah, let's just throw a cheeky breaking the cuffs in there. So 67, not bad. Block zones are pretty even. These count as extra foundations. And that's the beginning of Hange. Again, this is one of the ones I'm most excited to experiment with, because I like this idea of foundations that my rival doesn't get to interact with. Even if you use something like Fully Awakened Decay, that only says destroy foundations and assets. That doesn't say anything about backups. So again, good thing Hange doesn't have death. Or else she'd be insane, because you get all of these foundations that you don't get to destroy because they're not technically foundations. But I hope I can turn some people around on thinking that she's absolutely garbage, because while she will struggle until the next set, I don't think you should write her out. I think she's a sleeper pick. Don't write her off just yet. But this is my day 0 with a tasty riff, building in your Titan foundations. You got a whole bunch of 6 checks to pass your checks. And yeah, so that is going to be my first look at Hange. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking it and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to help support the channel even more, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below. And if you are new here, new to Universus as a whole and didn't quite understand what any of this meant, I have a link to my How to Play playlist, the Hermit School of Universus, in the description, with breakdowns of all of the rules and mechanics and how to play all of Universus in easy to find and easy to understand videos. So until next time, take care, guys.